Hey, good afternoon and good morning. I am your proud and humble leader of the Hounds of Business Community, Mike Asherbranner, and you are tuning in to Mike King Biz Radio, 106.1 FM ESPN RVA. I hope everyone is having an amazing holiday season. Your December is off with a bang and not too cold. So, without further ado, I'm not going to run the intro today. I'm just going to get straight to it. Right, we're in the middle of the holiday season. We have 2025 around the corner. Right, whether you call it resolutions, goals, or you just want to be happier, it doesn't matter. I want to bring on two experts today. David Minansky. I always say it wrong. Good, he's a forgiving guy, and April Wyett. And they're going to use their expertise here in just a minute to come in, talk about some of the things that we can use, not just for the new year or holiday, but throughout 2025. So we can be more happy, healthier, and harmonious. All right. Because I still like that. I don't believe in balance. Every time I take a step, I'm off balance, but I do believe in harmony. And these two had a whole lot to do with it. So without further ado, let's bring them up. There he is, David Minansky from Jaded Health. All right, and April Wyett from Living with Intention. How are you all today?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you, Mike.
I'm doing well. It's so good to be here with you both.
Oh, my pleasure. So we've had you guys on like almost every day, it felt like, which is good because what are people concerned about? What's in the forefront of their mind, right? Getting through the holidays, all the challenges and things that go with that, right? And then also 2025, right? Which I personally planned and started working on in October because I like to get a head start, right? I'm like the tortoise and the hare. But we have Michelle Ward here with us. Thank you so much, Michelle. And Leanna. Leanna is here. Always a pleasure seeing you. People are popping in. And if you're driving around right now or at your office on the radio, hey, great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. So do me a favor. Want to get a small background on you guys so folks know what you do, why you're here, and all that good stuff. So, David, tell the folks what you do and why.
I'm working in corporate health and wellness for employees because most companies, if they have a wellness program, it's a gym membership. And most employees don't want to use the gym to begin with. And if they do, then they have to hire a trainer because then they have to figure out what the equipment's to use and how to use it. So I offer a program with accountability, with group coaching and individual coaching, and it's more based on what you put into your mouth rather than physical activity. So the companies get great results. It lowers absenteeism, it lowers turnover, increases employee retention, lowers the stress and burnout, and increases the bottom line for the company if they don't have to keep replacing employees.
Yeah, and you're also good for entrepreneurs and small business owners and pointing at myself, community leaders, right? So you've been doing accountability calls with me, and they have been really instrumental. And that's why I put people on the show, right? It's not that I put them on the show because they know something. They usually help me or a hound, or they've been proven time and time again. So thank you for the help because I truly needed it. Anybody knows me, they say, "Oh my gosh, this guy needs all the help he can get," especially when it comes to wellness. Well, because we're building businesses, man. That is not easy. I don't know where this self-help section came from, but about 95% of it is not working for me or people like me, right? So I know you're a good source and you're good people. We'll talk about your resources in a minute. And that takes me to the one and only April Wyett. All right, not just a friend, but also a Hounds ambassador. And really my go-to for meditation and being grounded because I'm a wiry dude, man. I'm doing a lot of stuff. And so she's here to remind me to put my toes in the grass and to come back down to earth. So, April, thank you for being here. Tell the folks your company, kind of what you do. I know it's a lot, but give us the short version. And we're all ears.
Sure. Yes. Thank you for having me back. It's so awesome to be here with you, David and Mike. So, a little bit about me. I left the 9 to 5 working with nonprofits as a case manager with at risk youth. And I soon realized that I wanted to work with people who were ready to be healed, because that's in trauma. We have a lot of trauma in our lives, whether it's past, present, or even thinking about the future. We can create that uncertainty, just by thinking about that. So, what I love to do is to work with people to bring them back to themselves. And that is through breath work, Reiki meditations, and mindfulness approaches. So I work with individuals and groups and also offer support online as well for that. So thank you.
Oh, and you're the best in the biz, and you have the voice for it. You have the voice for the meditation room. If you're on LinkedIn, she has the greatest audio rooms, even though audio's, not a thing. We gotta do live stream with our cameras off, I guess, but, all right, let me get to it. Let me ask the question because folks are here, they wanna know, right? Navigating challenges and opportunities in 2025 is the theme that we're talking about. So, again, transformation seems to be key, absolutely, on what both you all do. So, David, let me start with you. What does personal transformation look like in 2025? Right? What's the first step someone should take to begin that journey when it comes to wellness?
The first step is to start doing something, because there's three types of people: those who think about what they're going to do, there are those who talk about what they're going to do and do nothing, and then those who actually act and do something. There's a quote by Carl Jung. I'm going to paraphrase, but it's something like, "It's not what you say you will do that matter. It's what you do that matters." And that's the key. And it's not so much what we can do, it's what we will do. And most people are looking forward to their New Year's resolutions that are going to start on January 1st. My question is, why wait till January 1st? Start now.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not? Why not do it now? Right. Oh, and by the way, I love that. Right. Think, talk, and act. So finally in my 40s, I'm doing them in the reverse order, the right order. I had somebody the other day sit down with me and I said, I said, this is the most difficult call I've had. He said, what do you mean? I said, because if you had known me for a month or two already, we wouldn't need to talk about it. You'd already hired me. And it wasn't, no, it was the truth. I'm like, people hang around, they see it and I point at it. It's like the buffet. No one's had to ever sell you to eat an item you wanted to eat on a buffet. You just had to know it was there, right? And that's why I love you too. You always attract people. You're just there. You never push. But if people want to take a next step into being happier, healthier, you're a guide, right? It's why chiropractors don't crack their own necks, right? You need someone else to help you. So, April, back to you on that. So, what is your advice for folks that, how does personal transformation look? And what are some steps people can take from your angle, right?
Yeah. Thank you. And I love that, David, as you shared your three main tips or awarenesses about people and their personalities. Right. And I think there's a lot to say about that when we're thinking about 2025. I say 2025 is time to be alive. Right. How do we want to show up? What is it that we're wanting more of for ourselves? And the most important thing to fuel that motivation is, how do you feel about it? Is it a little uncertain? Is it because some anxiety, or are you coming from a place of, okay, I accept where I am right now, and how do I want to feel the next day? How do I want to feel just even in the next few moments? That's where it gets you going. And that's what David was alluding to. And I am all about, working from the inside out. So that's that mindfulness, the awareness of how we are connecting with ourselves and putting that effort forward from a space of positivity.
Thank you for that. All right, I'm going to throw this back on you because both of y'all had mentioned this. So, reflecting, asking the questions, and what do I want, right? Defining success, defining happiness and health in life. Woo, I can tell you from experience. The school of hard knocks is my school, y'all. I don't know, I just been through it. So I can tell you, oh my gosh. But, if it was as simple as reading your book, David, and doing it, then the whole world would be fit, happy, and healthy. So, what is it that keeps people, whether it's daily living or some folks won't even engage in setting goals for 2025 because they're already expecting to fail themselves, right? Like I've been there. I'm not judging. So, what is it that keeps people from moving forward, even asking these questions? And they know they're stuck, but they don't want to face it.
Procrastination, denial,
Ah,
and I'm not talking about the river in Egypt. So what happens is, I'm a perfect example. I got my wake up call in July of 2016 when my doctor told me, based on my lab results, and that I was fat, I had a 95% chance for a fatal heart attack. And he gave me two options: lose weight or find a new doctor, because he'd been after me for 8 years to reduce the weight. And if I did lose weight on a diet, I gained it all back, sometimes even more. So I was embarrassed and frustrated. And again, I attempted to shed the weight. Diets don't work. If the diets did work, those companies would be out of business after a few years and we'd all be thinner and healthier. So diets are designed to fail. And I learned that you have to go on a lifestyle. And that's the key, is being on a lifestyle, as opposed to a diet. Uh, it's what you do as a habit or a ritual. And that's the main thing, is we all know what to do. We just don't do it. And it's not what we can do, it's what we will do. And so it's what is the most important thing to you. If you ask someone about their priority, they'll usually say health is a priority. Yet if you watch what they do and how they act, health seems to be a low priority. So Winston Churchill had a great quote. He said, I no longer listen to what people say, I watch what they do. And I've modified a little bit to, I no longer listen to what people say about reducing weight, I watch what they eat.
There you go. Dadgum straight. And what I hear you saying, partly is negative self-talk, right? That stuff gets in our heads, and that takes us straight to April. So when I say, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm going to get up and do something to get healthier, right? I'm going to try something. And then the tapes go off in our heads, say, no, you can't do that. You tried that before, blah, blah. So what are some of the things that pop in our heads when we set goals, April, for New Year, right? What are some of the things that would keep us from engaging in that book or trying it anyway or going to the gym? Right? What are some of the things your clients say over and over again?
Ah, it's so true. It is so true. And we have a lot of belief systems about ourselves and what we can and can't do. And belief systems to me is BS, right? We have a lot of this BS that we project on ourselves that prevents us, that limits us. We are so amazing. Our bodies are amazing. It responds to our thoughts. If a person believes that they are unworthy or not healthy enough or whatever that is, the body's going to respond. And guess what? The health won't be as great. So, what I say is it's really important to put our attention on our intention. And what that looks like is, okay, so my intention for 2025 is to have a healthier lifestyle. We have great intentions, don't we? But where is our attention every day? So making those choices, having those conversations with ourselves, is this bagel or donut really going to get me to where I want to be? And maybe a half of a whole wheat bagel, to start out with, or something that, just a little amount, but not the whole enchilada, so to speak. That's really important to remember, to have ease and grace with ourselves too, when we do have, one step forward and three steps back, and it's going to happen. It is going to happen. So that's just part of the process of growth, and remembering to tune in and listen to your motivation, asking the right questions of your why. Why do I want this? Not just to look good. We want to feel happy. We want to feel vibrant. We want to feel more alive. So, what are we doing about that? So, asking the right questions with the right answers, with that fueled motivation I talked about earlier, that's what will get you there. Small increments.
Yeah,
I
I
love
like
it.
that.
Love it.
I'm going to jump in, Mike, if that's okay, and dovetail on what
Yeah.
April's saying, because the question I pose to people is, why do you eat? Most people say stress, comfort, boredom. Um, they're socializing, they're out at parties and groups. Very, very few people say, I eat for nutrition and fuel for my body. And that's why we eat, is to maintain our bodies, which are incredible machines. Heather Morgan put it perfectly. She said, every time you eat or drink something, you're either feeding disease or fighting it. And so, like April was saying, when you choose to eat a bagel as opposed to an apple, you're choosing to feed the disease rather than fight it. And the why is so important as to why you do things. as April mentioned, I think that's real important to keep in mind now.
Oh, I love it. Hey, let me give Mike King a shout out. We're going to turn right back around because my goodness, man, 15 minutes late. We need 15 hours for this discussion. Folks love it. So, Mike King Biz Radio, thank you so much. Folks in Richmond, listen to this at the desk or on the way to work or your business. Thank you for tuning in. I, Hounds of Business, right? What is it? Right? It's a community online for heart-centered, high-level professionals, getting things done, pushing other people up, farming versus hunting, and attracting versus dog catching. That's as best as I can put it, guys. So we are actually real quick, shameless plug here. We had hit the next level. We have now our membership is increased, and we now have lead gen like you've never seen it before in the farmer style approach. So if you like the folks that we have on this week after week, if you want to be plugged in with folks that can help you push up your business and change your life together, dadgummit, go to our YouTube channel at Hounds of Business. Find me on LinkedIn, Mike Asherbrenner, or send me a carrier pigeon. I still do that because I live outside. So let's get back to the discussion, everybody. Let baby steps. That's what I heard you say. In my own, country, interpret it right, April. Baby steps can go a long way, right? And we have to program ourselves. We have to reprogram ourselves, right? And that's what this is all about. Like, I know not to eat that thing because I woke up the other day feeling like garbage. I ate a whole lot of garbage. I didn't tell David because he wouldn't like that. Uh,
Hey, I
and
saw you
then,
eat that biscuit earlier. It's okay.
right, I told him I made the biscuit myself, and it stopped him for a couple minutes till he realized he didn't make no biscuits. This guy can't even go drink water half the time. So anyway, see, we have fun here. But it really is. It's being for yourself in a new way because you guys coach folks that they want to change, but man, it's hard. I know for me, being decade after decade, growing up and having the influence of parents and grandparents and cultural food and all this stuff, it's really hard to change it. And folks can get down on themselves, and that's why I want to bring that up. You just got to make a decision not to. You say, hey, I'm a human. I made a mistake, or I missed the mark, or whatever, and then you get back on the horse, right? You just keep getting on it. Right? It's no different. All right, I'm not going to ramble on this. So let me see. I want to hit this because this is a highlighted point, and there's nobody else better to ask this than you guys. All right. So we live in a day and time where constant change is and uncertainty is all rampant. Every time we turn around, right, it's just something's changing, or we have a plan and it's derailed in 5 seconds, right? What is one non-negotiable practice or mindset that helps each of you stay resilient and focused in this ever-changing world? What do you personally do to stay grounded in this big sea of change, April?
Uh, yeah, there is so much happening in our lives and in the world. And that's a lot of static, I call it static thinking. Think of a snow globe, you shake it up, right? And there's a lot of flakes flying around. When I find myself uncertain, right, and finding my center in that, that really helps me with meditation. Meditation is my absolute go-to. And people need to understand that meditation is different forms. So yes, you could sit in a dark room for 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is, or you can even have a meditation out in nature. You can walk, breathe in, focus on that breath, look at the trees, look at whatever you see outside. That can be a meditation. You can even meditate when you're washing dishes. It's what it is meditation is taking yourself out of the thought the best you can, because you're always going to have thoughts. There's going to be a few flakes flying around in there, right?
Oh yeah.
But when you're washing dishes, focus on the water, the soap, the motion of your hand as you're washing. Remind yourself that you're cleaning, that this is good. This is self-care. This is part of what we're here to do. So that way mundane tasks can be a little bit easier, and especially driving too, right? Just taking a breath, telling yourself I have space for the car in front of you, and trust in the process. So again, it's all about finding that centered point within you, whether it's meditation or some other modality that helps you stay grounded, or even go outside and walk in the grass with your shoes off, like I had Mike do.
which is hilarious because she's assuming I wear shoes anyway, which is, that's 50-50. But see, that's what you was so don't know if I'm even meditating right or what way is best. But really, what I hear you saying and what you taught me is present moment. It's an intention to say, you know what, instead of thinking about tomorrow and last year and all this stuff, my monkey mind is popping in there. How about I just actually focus on the food I'm eating, right? How
Yeah.
it tastes, right? Instead of, you know, and it sounds weird, especially for me in the South. And, we don't hear that much growing up, but it works. Doesn't it work, David? What is your advice? So all this chaos, right? Someone's going to go to the gym. They're going to start the diet, and then life's going to happen and knock them all off course, right? And this is going to happen until probably we die. So what do you do to stay grounded and stay focused and readjust when things in life knock you off, buddy?
I have a little saying in front of my computer here, and basically it's attitude is everything. The older I get, the healthier I become. The healthier I become, the more motivated I am to be healthier. And my philosophy is I'm growing younger as I get older. So I look at that every day and remind myself to focus. And going for a walk, like April said, does tremendous amounts for the body. Walking is the most underrated physical activity a person can do. So you don't need to go to the gym and exercise and do weights and everything. Don't get me wrong, physical fitness is extremely important, but 90 to 95% of our body weight is basically what we put into our mouth with what we eat and what we drink. So when you are focused on eating healthier, your weight will take care of itself. And as you get more energy, get rid of the brain fog, then you want to become more physically active. That's when you start engaging in the physical fitness. You just build up to it. And as you said, it's just taking steps and giving yourself grace and being
Mhm.
patient. Darren Hardy says it's a simple little, seemingly inconsequential, you know, things that you do over a long period of time that will give you noticeable results. And what happens is, like you said, Mike, people go to the gym and after 2 or 3 weeks, the scale's not moving and they get frustrated and they stop. Well, they're not seeing the little results that are, you know, changing. Like maybe their clothes are feeling looser and they're replacing the fat with muscle. Muscle and fat weigh the same amount, except muscle takes up less room. So don't go by the scale, go by how your clothes are feeling and how you're feeling with your energy level. And that's where people quit because they don't see a certain, result based on the scale. So forget the scale, basically, go by how your clothes fit. And that's more of an indicator, and that's where people need to say consistent. So like I ask people, how do you know you're not stopping 3 feet from gold? Or as Sandra Yancey would say, how do you know you're not stopping 5 minutes before the miracle happens?
Mhm.
Wow. Go ahead, April. I know you got to follow up. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Yeah, love it, David. As we've talked on other talks before, it's like we could keep going and going. You mentioned brain fog, and I think that's really important for people to remember that when our nervous system is either in hyper or hypo mode, then our mind or brains cannot function as well. And so, what brings us back immediately, I'm telling you, people, immediately is conscious breathing. So, what that looks like is even just breathing in for a count of 4 and breathing out like you're breathing through a straw for a count of 5, and doing that 5 times in a row, and realize, like, oh, yeah, I don't have as much brain fog or scattered thoughts. You might feel silly a little bit doing it if this is something new to you, although you're taking the first step and action to reset your nervous system. If your nervous system is not in that reset and restore that rest and digest mode, no matter how much exercise you do, no matter how much mindfulness practices you do, or the positive thoughts you tell yourself, it's not going to take effect. You have to be in that parasympathetic nervous system in order for the body to decompress, process toxins and allow yourself that space literally within yourself. So even when you're driving, I have space, take a breath and breathe out like you're breathing through a straw. I guarantee you will feel some sort of relief. And as David alluded to, practice, right? We got to practice. We got to melt those outer layers of tension. That's where that deeper breath work comes in with me. So that's what I'm here for. And I'm sticking to it because it works.
Oh, no, it absolutely does. And I mean, again, I thought it sounded weird at first, a couple of years ago, but it does work. And this is why we bring the experts on, right? So April Wyett, livingwithintention.co, livingwithintention.co. Uh, Go check out the website. Don't do this alone. There's resources. She's got a podcast. There's all kind of things to plug into and tap into. Uh, but it's helped me. And I don't even know what she just said. That's too over my head a little bit. But it works. I don't need to know how the engine works. I just know how to drive the car, right? So this is why I'm saying, it's so much nicer to plug in the folks that have the solution to what we're struggling with. So David, let me ask you all this 1 minute because dadgummit, time flies if you're having fun. All right. All the folks listening live or on the radio, right? Can you give them one actionable piece of advice that they can use immediately to improve their life in 2025? What would that be? Dave.
Drink
Well,
more.
okay. Go ahead, David. We're going to show your book up there. Hey, and go check out jadedhealth.com. This is my new fitness Bible, wellness Bible. So go ahead, David. What's that life-changing advice somebody can use?
The first one is the golden rule. Number one is to drink more pure water, at least one half of your total body weight. The reason I say that is 75% of the US population is chronically dehydrated. Our bodies are 60 to 70% water, not soda, diet soda, fruit juices, or milk. And a lot of times when we think we're hungry, we're actually thirsty. So water is a natural appetite suppressant. It rehydrates you. And again, your body's 60 to 70% water. So why wouldn't you give your body what it's made out of instead of something that's not, that's harmful?
Good advice. And I'm drinking water. It's out and it's still out of the hose. Don't tell them yet. But we're getting there. I drank water. That's the one thing I did when I read the book. I was like, hey, I got at least one thing out of this book, right? I drank water. All right. So now I got two or three more things on it. So thank you for that. I love the book because it's easy to read. It's like a manual. You don't have to sit down and read it front to back. All right. So in closing, April, let us know because I love your advice. It's always spot on and down to earth. What's that one little thing that people could use, right, to start improving their life in 2025 like they've never seen before?
Mm. I would say to not believe in all your thoughts.
Ah,
We have all these thoughts that are happening. We don't really know what's happening. And so when we start to become curious about why we're feeling certain ways, why we're having these thoughts, becoming curious, right? And inviting that kindness to ourselves. Then that way we ease the pressure off of ourselves and allow more co-creative experiences with other people. We become more curious about them instead of judgmental of ourselves and others. So becoming curious with compassion.
there you go. It sounds like mindset. All right, work on that. Work on whatever you're trying to bury and your head in the sand about. Pull your head out of the sand. Go out there and connect with people. Right. Go out there and read a book. Go to April's podcast. So, April, where can folks find you? Real quick, your website.
Livingwithintention.co. I'm also on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram, Living with Intention. April Wyett.
Absolutely. And the big dog, David. All right, jadedhealth.com. I spoiled it. What else can they do? What you got a book and you got TV? What else?
Yeah, jadedhealth.com. They can go to LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. And then I have a TV series on jadedhealth.tv.
Hey, all right, folks, you heard it. So thank you for the tips. Go check out the resources that these folks have. They're the real deal. They're as brilliant as they are big hearted. Love having you guys in the pack. Folks who showed up in the comments listening right now, thank you so much for being here. 2025 is our year. If you're out there trying to plug into the right people, get the resources and support you need to succeed in your profession, and just be happier in life. Hey, Hounds of Business, shameless but well earned plug. No more strays out there, dadgummit. All right. we're here. Check us out on YouTube, Hounds of Business. And also, thank you, Mike King. You're the man. Love our partnership and cannot wait to change more lives, make a bigger impact together, brother, in 2025. Everybody have a blessed day. Appreciate the support and cannot wait to see you soon. All right,
Be
Princess
well.
Wave, time to go. You got it. Thank you.